have, because we use a lot of words a lot of time. Words don't mean nothing, just words. And they said action speaks louder than words.
Word, right.
So that means that we mistake a lot of times knowledge for understanding. We got to distinguish the difference. People have knowledge of a lot of things, but they don't understand how to use it.
Right.
So if you don't understand how to use it, then therefore you become stuck.
Idle.
And what happens is you revert back to that what you're familiar with, and that is the substance use.
Right. They give you
Whatever the drug may be, whatever it may be, alcohol, weed, heroin, whatever it may be, we revert back to that, and on actuality, there is something going on with us, not only emotionally, but something going on with us mentally.
Mental, okay.
And this is when you need a therapist to come into play. Now, one of the most important things I realized in what we call in the animalistic realm is one word, not survival, but listening. Listening. You know, a deer hears the most, any sound that you make.
Leaf cracking.
Yeah.
From far away.
Yeah, now you're talking. Yeah. Wow.
Same with dogs.
Now you're talking. That listening is important. It seems to be a lost art amongst some human beings. You know, we may be listening. I don't know. Someone said the difference between listening and hearing, but needs to say it's probably becoming a lost art.
Listening is like hearing with interpreting. Hearing is just in one ear out the other.
I got you.
You can hear something, but if you ain't listening, you don't hear it.
There you got it. You on. So listening is critical, right? Because it is a matter. It could be a matter of life and death. So we gotta listen. We gotta pay attention, and everything don't solicit a response. You don't have to respond or respond. In fact, when people react and respond to things, they react and respond based upon how much they value themselves. Yes, because if a person is having a problem of valuing themselves, they will turn back to something that compounds that problem, and that would be the substance.
The substance, right.
Yep. So now, as we see self-efficacy and self-advocacy, we see that it is a matter of way in which you represent yourself with confidence. You want to have that confidence. So you have to deal with the self-esteem, the low self-esteem. Now, I started off by saying with you, I asked you the question about peace, right? For me, people say the opposite of peace is war. The opposite of peace to me is a threat. Because if we're no threat to each other, we're not going to hurt each other. If I'm no threat to myself, I'm not going to harm myself. I'm not going to pick up no substance. I'm not going to do none of that. I'm not going to pretend. I'm not going to smoke. I'm not going to inhale. I'm not going to do that. Because I'm in what?
Peace.
I'm at peace, man. I'm at peace. Now, when you use the word peace, you say it's associated with happiness. I realize that happiness, and it don't necessarily mean it's so, that happiness is the joy that you feel when you're in pursuit of your potential. In this country, they said they're in pursuit of happiness. Happiness. They were in pursuit of that.
Yeah.
And actually, the word ness represents the state and the quality of your being. The state and the quality of your being.
Right. And that's
now,
estimation, right?
Yeah, esteem. Now, what is the state and the quality of your being? By the manner way in which you treat yourself.
Good morning, Mr. Tom.
Hey, yo.
The manner and the way in which you treat yourself. How much you value yourself, how much you take care of yourself. If you have low self-esteem, you ain't gonna take care of yourself the way you ought to.
Right.
You can be still in a child's state of mind, wanting somebody else to take care of you. Because one thing that's possibly run away from is the accountability.
Accountability.
You run away from it. Running away from accountability.
Mr. Patrick.
Yeah.
Go like this. You got something, right? Yeah. Right here. There you go. You got it.
Run away from accountability. Now, when you go to the bank, open up a bank account. You only can take out based upon what you put in. So you got to do the work. You know, a lot of times we think that we're doing the work when we give a lot of what service? LIPS, lip service. You ain't doing no work. James Brown just said that you're talking loud and saying nothing.
Just talking.
Nobody's really, you think, you may be crying out for attention, and you may not even know it. So therefore, that's why you need to see a what? A doctor.
Right.
Huh? So now we want to get to a point where that we know how we express ourselves with confidence and how we represent ourselves. We got to learn to listen and how we respond and how we react to our thinking or our thoughts, how negative they may be.
Right.
We don't need no substance to help us because all to do is add to the problem. And for that, you should be at what? At peace.
Peace. Because you don't need to use the substance.
And then we get into the word happiness. Remember, it says in this country they're in pursuit of happiness. And I realized, based on Imam Warren D. Muhammad, he says happiness is the joy that you feel when you're in pursuit of your potential. A rock just exists, don't it, man? But when you pick it up, you are utilizing the existence of the what? Of the rock. Ain't that something? So we're just here. But what are we here? If we're stagnant and unproductive, the society, man, they're going to throw us to the what? To the side.
Yeah, to the side.
So you got to be productive. You got to find ways to be productive. Now, it says in the good book, it says that be fruitful and multiply. It ain't talking about sex. It's talking about being productive.
Okay, so that's what they mean when they say be
So
fruitful.
you got to be productive. You got to be beside. And then it says you can tell by the site, whatever it is, you can tell the tree by the fruit that it bears.
Right.
So anything that you do, it should bear what? Bear fruit.
Meaning being productive.
Now, if that's the case, now you know what needs to be restored is your credibility. Credibility. Nobody's going to believe you if you ain't got no credibility. That's why when you create a resume, they want to know, they want to know the source of who the people that's on their resume.
Right.
Huh?
Right.
So if you got a resume of being discreditable, if you got a resume of being unreliable, if you got a resume of continuing to substitute to deal with your problem, then man, you know that you need to be restored your what? Your credibility, man.
Yeah.
It ain't no air in that. Let's be clear with that. So now, that should make you happy. That should give you peace. And then we already talked about the happiness and the joy. And then what we want to do, we want to do it and live a quality but yet
Sustainable life.
Sustainable life. Sustain it on a daily basis. Because this quest, this journey that we're on is a quest. You ever remember the cartoon Johnny Quest?
Yes.
He was on the quest. And all of us was on the quest. He was on the quest. Now, as being on that quest, that which comes into question, when it comes to your joy, when it comes to your happiness, when it comes to your peace, when it comes to substance use, when it comes to listening skills, when it comes to your confidence, when it comes to your self-esteem, and when it comes to your knowledge, and even when it comes to your mentality, it comes to, are you going to be what? Responsible. Huh? With that which has been given to you. Huh? That means that we have this time here on this plane of existence. Somehow or another, the society in which we live, but we allow other things influence us. So that makes us, we allow the society to influence and get the best of us. So put us in a position, instead of being responsible, we become irresponsible.
Okay. You're not doing that.
It's not, yeah, it shows in the manner way in which you live your life.
Right.
How can somebody find joy in doing nothing?
They can.
Huh? There's a song, a phrase of a song says, I got nothing and nothing is good enough for me. Huh? You gotta want something out of life. That means if you want something out of life, that what you thought you know, you really don't know, and you realize there's more to be learned. So all you need to do is sit back and do what? Listen. Just sit back and listen. You don't have to say nothing, just sit back and listen. And when you sit back and listen, you acquire the knowledge. And when you acquire the knowledge, you'll be able to distinguish between knowledge and understanding. Because you will know how to use that knowledge.
Right.
But if you don't know how to use that knowledge, you have become irresponsible with something that has been given to you. And what we have been irresponsible with, if a mother and a father have a child and they don't take care of that child, they're being what? Irresponsible to that child. And then when you grow up, the next thing you know, you become and live, you may more than likely, be live a what? An irresponsible life. Because you may be going out trying to compensate for that which was done to you. And you may not get the necessary mental therapy or the help that you need. And then when someone comes to try to help you, you try to correct them the manner way in which they're sharing something with you, and you say, "Oh man, I know this, I know that, teach me this, teach me." So you ask for something that you're not ready for.
Okay. Unqualified. Good morning.
Good morning.
So we got to stop putting our hands and playing these games. It's almost like people always talk about the gospel. What ain't the gospel? We're preaching gossip.
Right.
We got to distinguish between gossip and gospel. Because one, the gossip will always make you to take the road of the victim.
Right.
But the gospel is something that will release you and free you. Because it said he come to what? To redeem those that was what? Was lost.
And you gain your self-esteem and you gain your confidence.
And I realize that which is lost is when we take each other's good intentions for granted.
True.
Yeah. So now we talk about self-efficacy and self-advocacy. Now, the advocacy is when you advocate for something, it must materialize. It must materialize. Something materialized, it means it come into what? Existence.
Okay.
That's when you know that you're practicing self-advocacy. Because you believe what you say that you believe. But if it ain't coming into existence, then what? You ain't advocating for what you say you believe because it has not materialized. If I put it in that language, that's the best way I can put it in. You know, because you want something, but what you gonna do? You say you want it, are you gonna make it happen?
Sure.
Yeah?
You got money that bad.
Because if you're unable to control your desires, somebody else is going to control them for you. Huh?
Right.
Why would we go around allowing the substance use to control us? Huh?
Because we're weak.
Now you talk. Now you're on to something. But that's the basic part, a weak intellect. Huh? So you have to strengthen your intellect, not just for words, but you got to dig deep down inside your very own soul. As Dr. King would say, sign your own emancipation proclamation, which means you don't need nobody to co-sign or sign for you. You will sign it your what? Yourself.
Right.
When are we going to get out of the hands allowing our substance use and somebody we going to buy and spend our money, keep going to this program, that hospital to that hospital. We keep going to that same thing because you got to get that mental health that you need, man.
Yep.
And accept the fact that there's something going on with your self-esteem. It ain't nobody else. We got to get beyond the blame game.
You got to blame yourself.
I ain't saying that, but we got to get beyond the blame. We have to accept the responsibility for ourselves. We can't keep blaming nobody. That's why the letter A, I like it, is here. The letter A is shaped like this because it has two legs on it. That's why your man and woman duty is first to him or herself. You must stand on your own merit, on your own 2 feet. I don't go around necessarily quoting what everybody else said, what somebody say this and say that and say this. We keep relishing in the past. We say, oh, Africa got this history. Egypt got this history. Europe got this history. So what? So what they got? That's on them. That worked then. What worked then may not work now. When you going to start creating your own history and be proud of yourself? Being proud of everybody else and what they did.
You weren't around.
You wasn't around there. That's right. All they're doing, man, is giving you a false sense of who you are.
I like that.
Yeah.
We got to break beyond that, man. We got to deal with the here and the what? Here and the now. Ain't nothing promised to us. Not the next second, not the next minute, not the next hour, not the next day, not the next week, not the next month, not the next year, not the next breath that we take. Ain't nothing promised to us.
Nothing. Not a damn thing.
So we see now with self-advocacy, with the confidence of representing ourselves and advocating for ourselves. Because you must be in pursuit of your happiness. Activate your potential. Do not wait for circumstances to come to activate your mental health. Your mental health shall always be active. So now, You see the document that I shared with you? The next page. Read the next page. You on it? What it say?
Roll of self